Teflon John.
Yeah, it's your boy Teflon John coming to you from the IAmTeflonJohn Podcast Show. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the importance of getting started. Yeah, getting started is something everyone thinks about, but not everyone does. And getting started can be one of the most crucial, but yet most difficult things to do when it comes to taking an idea from idea to manifestation. So, to help me with that, I brought a guest on. Yep, the first guest of the IAmTeflonJohn Podcast Show. But first, I would like to thank you all for listening to the IAmTeflonJohn Podcast Show. And I would like to encourage you all to at least share this with at least 5 of your friends. And if you're liking this content, share it. I would like for you to subscribe to the IAmTeflonJohn Podcast Show on iTunes and Google Play. So right now, I'm going to introduce my guest. Like I said, the topic of this is the importance of getting started. And his name is Hezekiah Morris. And I would like for him to introduce himself to the IAmTeflonJohn followers out there.
What's going on, world? I'm an author, motivational speaker, Hezekiah Morris.
All right, so Hez, man, author, motivational speaker. So those are two big two big hats that you're wearing because, through authoring, you can write a lot of books and blogs and, through motivational speaking. So you have a platform set up where you're motivating people. And when you say author and motivational speaker, we're going to talk about and use that, for example, for the importance of getting started. So when you say author, do you have a book out?
Yeah, I have a book out. It's called Restoring Hezekiah.
Okay, so Restoring Hezekiah. So is that book out and available for sale?
Yes, it's on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Nobles, and it's also at 3,000 other bookstores in the U.S.
Got you. So when we say book for sale, I'm assuming that at some point this was a thought in your head, like it wasn't something that just popped up and I got a book in my hand. I'm pretty sure that it's something that you was kind of at work or you was kind of just going through the day and say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna write a book. So could you walk me through that process of how that thought even came?
Man, actually, I was in jail at the time, and I was like, so I was like, man, let me write my life story. Let me tell the world what I went through and what struggles I had and how did I get to this point in my life. And when I started writing it, man, I was like, man, maybe I should publish it when I get out, or maybe I shouldn't. But the guys that I was locked up with was like, man, you need to publish that. Make sure you publish that. So when I got out, man, it was like, I moved to Greensboro, and I was like, man, how am I going to publish it? I had to find a publisher. I had to find somebody that would invest in what I was trying to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew once I found somebody that would invest in me, I had a vision on where did I want to go with this.
Right. So you
what
had a vision.
What do I want to do with it?
Yeah. Gotcha. Everything starts with the vision. So you had a vision, and basically, just a little shine a little light on something that I believe in too. You're actually sharing your truth. And what I mean by sharing your truth is you didn't shy away from the point that you were locked up, and you basically used that experience of being locked up to actually write a book. Am I correct?
Uh-huh.
Got you. So, and in that writing your book, and when I say share your truth, could you explain how some people may be afraid to share their truth, but could you explain the thought process that you may have went through when you felt like leaving something out of your book, that could have been a little personal?
Going through my addictions, man, with the drugs and alcohol and the domestic abuse and stuff like that. I was like, I'm not going to share that, but for me, it was like, I'm not ashamed of who I am. That is a part of my story, a part of my life. And there's a lot of people out there that went through the same thing, and I'm still going through the same thing. And for me, it's a lifelong struggle. And I still deal with my demons. So I had to put it out there so I could at least try to establish, okay, this is my problems. This is what I deal with on a daily basis. Let me let the world know what I deal with. And the people that's dealing with it too, like, but you still can succeed. You still can dream. You still can get over your problems. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing for me is we can dream. We can always do the best we can, but we still going to have people to tell us, you can't do it. You can't do this. You still the same way. You still do this and you do that. But if they don't understand you, they're going to never know what your dream is.
Gotcha. And I believe that, by you using that book and, you becoming a motivational speaker, I believe that most people that deserve a second chance in life, they don't have a platform because no one will listen. So what I do like is how you, took advantage of creating your own platform and giving yourself a voice, because now, really on a motivational tip, you're speaking to other people that may be addicts, or you're speaking to other people that may be coming out the system of incarceration and being an example like, hey, this can be done. Now, when you say,
Yeah.
and I know that it could have been hard, like, to list your life experiences and everything, but could you shed light on how your life experiences may have, held you back from getting started?
Oh man, it's been a lot of things in my life that I've dealt with, especially with addiction and the alcohol, and even females in relationships that could have held me back from doing or getting to this point in my life. But what I did, no matter what, I wasn't going to stop chasing my vision or my dream.
Right.
Each day, I was like, I'm still going to push, regardless of the way I am. If I haven't changed, I'm still going to push this thing, because somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to hear how, in spite of, I still kept going. I never gave up, and I never dreamed of being an author. I never dreamed of even writing a book, and I was like, man, now I'm an author, and I like to speak. I learned how to speak when I used to go to the meetings, the AA meetings. I learned how to speak. I had to speak in front of the crowd, and I liked it. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, okay, I'm good at this. Now it's all coming into fruition. All the little skills that I thought I used, I'm now using them. All the little gifts that I never thought I had, I'm now using them.
Got you. So would you agree that through your process, right? So your dark process of being locked up, that through that process, you learn to exercise your gift?
Yeah, I surely did. And I took them gifts, and not only did I succeed, I pushed it farther than I would ever thought. You know what I mean? There was days, man, that I just walked for miles and miles promoting my book, getting it out there, going to this newspaper, to this TV station. Like, look, I got a book coming out. The world needs to hear. And they would turn me down. And you know what my famous phrase was?
What was that?
Don't worry. They'll come find me. I'm going to work so hard, they're going to find me. They're going to want me.
Gotcha. And I want everybody to listen to what he said. Is basically through experiencing rejection, he developed a mindset that, he was that faithful enough and believed in himself that they would come to him. Because most people, after you hear no a lot of times, it discourages them from actually going through that process. So, and when we talk about a book, it's called Restoring Hezekiah. So obviously the restoring is about your restoration, but what I want people to hear is, just kind of shifting the conversation a little bit, is when you were writing that book, right? I'm pretty sure that you had a lot of struggles. So, I'm pretty sure it was a whole process going from a thought in your head to putting it on paper to meeting your publishers and all that. So what I want to do is kind of condense it down and just focus on, because you share, so you can kind of motivate those out there that may have ideas or may have dreams to be whatever. Could you share some of your personal struggles, that you endured while writing your book?
Oh, man. Like, when I started writing that book, it was nonstop, man. I caught the idea. I hit the intro. And once I hit the intro, I didn't stop until it was done. I didn't struggle at all. I already knew what I wanted to write down on paper. And God just let it flow. I mean, it flowed. And I was like, that's it. It's done. And then when I got out, finding that publisher, how to do it, how much he charged me. When I got out, I was working day labor, $45 a day. I took my whole check and got my own book copyright.
Wow, that's
Then I got
powerful.
another job. Then I got another job. He was like, well, you can pay me installment pay. I paid him an installment pay until it was done.
Wow. And so that's another thing too, I really want you to share the importance of investing in yourself because you could have bought Jordans, clothes, and I'm pretty sure during that time when you was writing your book, you sacrificed from buying certain things that you may have enjoyed, or you may have sacrificed from going places that, you would have enjoyed. But I want you to really explain the importance of sacrificing, financially so you can invest in your dream, something that you haven't seen
Oh,
yet.
and then the sacrifice that people don't know about. It's a place in Greensboro. It's called a IRC. That's a day shelter for the homeless. I would go there, even though I had a place to stay. I would go there every day to use our computers to write my book and to be around regular people. I didn't want to be around nobody who had their life together. I didn't want to be around nobody that looked upon themselves as better than. I wanted to be right there because that's how I felt inside. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I felt
yeah.
like, man, let me. Now I see how they feel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When the world turned their back on you, you don't have nobody to get you through, no support, no nothing. It's just you. And I
Yeah.
looked at them every day, and I would go in that computer lab and sit down, and they have some interns there from college. They said, "What are you doing?" I said, I'm writing my book." They're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "No, I'm for real." And every day I go in there and write. They was like, "Let me read." And they would read it. They would read it. They were like, "Oh man, I can't believe you an author." I said, "No," but I kept pushing and I kept striving. I would work 12-hour nights, 7 to 7 in the morning, leave there and go write my book just so I could put it on, typed it out, because everything was written. I got a whole book. There was nothing but writing on it, no chapters, no nothing, and I put it all together.
Gotcha. So, and it sounds like that it sounds like during that process that the environment that you were in had to be set right to kind of motivate you and inspire you. So most people would think about going to a shelter is like, if you ever seen Rocky 3, you remember when
Yeah,
Rocky, I think in Rocky 2 is when he actually won the belt from Apollo, and Rocky 3 is when he was going against Clubber Lang, and he was already rich. And you remember Mick was telling him that he was soft. And you
yeah,
remember he lost the belt to Clubber Lang, which is Mr. T, his character. You
hmm,
remember when Apollo Creed came to train him, Apollo took him back to the hood. Apollo took him back to Philadelphia to train with tough fighters, took him away from
yeah,
everything. So it sounds like mentally you had to do the same thing and get back in that pocket, get back in that, even though you were released and free, you wanted to go back to that impoverished, to that grinding, struggling type of mentality, so you can use that to write the heart of your book.
yeah. I had to keep my mind set like that. If I hadn't kept my mind set like that, it would have never got out because I would have went to Greensboro for all the wrong things. That book would have been a second thought. It would have been about the money. It would have been about the cars. It would have been about the girls. It would have been about the shoes. But it wasn't. It was all about getting that book out.
Wow. And that's powerful, man, because when you think about what you're saying is your reasoning, your why is like you before you could even write the book, it's like you wanted to have pure motives and you wanted to come from a pure place as far as why you were writing the book. And it seems like you were around people that you wanted to inspire, people that had been slept on, people that had been given up on. And it's funny
That was
about
the point.
mm-hmm.
That was the point. You just the nail in the coffin. I wanted them, people in that shelter, to see me. Look what I'm doing. To inspire them to want to do more. Look what I come in here and do. They're trying to write a book to get out of this situation that I'm in.
Wow. And like I said, man, it's crazy because some people don't realize that the people that they're around, right? That's their audience.
Hmm.
Everybody has a different audience. Like if you listen to music, it's different genres, hip hop, classic,
Hmm.
you got rock. And so what happens is, you don't see 50 Cent, um, you know, rapping to country listeners. Now he may have some, but you were lined up in front of the audience. So everything that you've been through in life, like being incarcerated, right? It was purposely
Yeah.
set up for you to go through these situations to develop an
Mm-hmm.
audience. Now, and here's my thing. Now, your book is already set to motivate and inspire a certain group of people based upon what you went through. Now, hadn't you went
Yeah.
through these things and had you had a great life and mommy and daddy had a lot of money, you may have never been inspired to write a book because there's nothing to write about. So, what I want to
Yeah.
motivate and inspire people that are listening to our voice that the situation that you're in, and I've said it time and time before, is sometimes that's connected to your financial blessing because by you sharing your truth, sharing your life story. If you look on TV all the time, celebrities do it all the time. What do most celebrities do? They write a biography, and most celebrities come out
Yeah.
with a movie. New Edition killed it by telling a story that we already knew, but it just gave us
Yeah.
good details. So, but the thing I think what people miss is they're afraid to share the intimate details. And here's the thing. God puts us through the fire for a reason, right? Diamonds are purified in the fire, right? I love cake, even though I'm a personal trainer, I love to eat cake and sweets from time
Yeah.
to time on cheat day. But what people don't realize is that cake had to go in the oven, probably 350 degrees to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's part of it. So if you're going to
That's
not want to
right.
get in the oven, you never become the person that you became. And then, what happens from a motivational standpoint is, you know, that you have to share your truth and don't be afraid, because it's an
Yeah.
audience for you. Like it's people that may be listening that were raped, that were molested, it's people that, may be listening that, have a troubled past. It's people just like you that never had anybody like you to talk to them. Everybody's
And you
always
know
talking
what?
down to them.
Even after I wrote the book, I still had setbacks. I still had to deal with my demons. And I still messed up. But you know what? I kept on pushing.
Oh yeah.
I kept on pushing. Because God said you can fall down 7 times and still get back up. A baby don't learn to walk on his own. It takes baby steps every day, every
Mm-hmm.
day. And I work on myself every day, every day. The things I go through, the struggles I go through with dealing with life and wanting to drink and wanting to still be an addict. I struggle every day with that, every day with my demons. But you know what? I still wake up in the morning like, God, thank you for giving me another day. Let's try this thing one more time.
Oh yeah, and bringing up God, and I want to share that light on people is it sounds like you're a man of faith. Have you always been like that, or is that something that you had to find and kind of grow more fond of?
I've always been like that. But the God that I knew and the God that I have now is totally different. The God that I knew was like a father figure. It was mean. You had to do this or you was going to die or you're going to hell. The God I have, he's loving. He's forgiving. He's taken me places where I never thought I would be. And I still make mistakes and I still struggle and he still blesses me on a daily. Like, I know your struggle. But don't forget, I'm always with you. Even at your weakest point, I'm still with you. That's the blessing.
And
I
that's
pray
amazing.
constantly.
And that's
Yeah.
amazing. And when you talk about prayer and when we talk about faith and believing in God, right? Would you say that your faith had a part or impact that you actually finishing the book? Because I'm pretty sure it was times where you felt like quitting or not writing the book. And if it
Oh
were
man,
so, did faith actually help you pull in to be strong to finish?
it was nobody but God that made me. He wrote the whole book. He pushed me through the whole book. Like boom, you're gonna do it. You're gonna finish. You're gonna reach the finish line on this one. Keep going. Keep pushing. I got you. I got you. Because I was isolated from the world. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have no distractions. And now you're outside on the world dealing with distractions. So he had me in a place where he needed me to be, to talk to me, to get me to do something. He said, I'm going to give you this. And I'm going to see how you're going to treat it. And I'm going to water it a little bit every day, and we're going to see how it grows.
Wow. And then when you talk about that, you believe God isolated you. Now, do you believe part of your incarceration may have saved your life?
Oh, definitely. I was headed down long road fast. You know, I was doing any and everything I wanted to, but thinking it okay to just do whatever I want to do. You know, I was just living life carelessly, you know, not afraid to die. Oh, well, who cares, you know? And still to this day, it's like I want to live that life, and then I don't. Now, I'm more humble. I'm more chill. I'm more okay. But I still make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I still slide back every now. But God said, you all right. I got you. If nobody else got you, I got you. And I keep pushing.
Yeah, and that's amazing, man. You know, to keep pushing and grinding. Now when it comes down to that whole process of your book, right? I want you
Mm-hmm.
to explain to the people that's listening that has dreams, ideas. Explain to them why they should start and stop thinking. You know, because while you're thinking, you're not moving. So let's try to focus and kind of hone in on motivating these
Okay.
people that are just sitting here thinking about this invention, thinking about getting married, thinking about applying for the job. Try to motivate them and use that to tell them why they should get started and why is it so important just to get started.
The importance to me of why you should get started is to say that you completed something, that you put your hard work into something and you did it. What motivates me every day is like everybody wants to write a book. That's fine about life. But when you're writing a book, you put all your feelings into it. You put your heart and your soul into it. And you know that is your plan. That's what you did, and that's how it happened. When I wrote my book, I wanted to motivate people because I didn't want to talk about nobody else. I wanted to talk about the part that I played, how I went through. And I still go through every day, but the motivation was, God got it. God got it. God said you can do it. I can do it. I used to always down myself like, man, I can't finish nothing. I can't do this. You can't. You just have to be willing. You got to sacrifice some things in life. I don't care if you got a girlfriend, a boyfriend. If you got a dream, you go for it. You go for it because you don't want to sit back 60 years from now and be like, man, I had big dreams of doing this and that, but I did. No, you go for it.
Yeah.
That's where you get the blessing at. Because if they love you, they're going to believe in your dream. They're going to push you to get your dream, regardless of what's going on. Because a dream becomes reality once you keep pushing. You keep pushing.
Yeah, you got to
And when
keep
you get
pushing.
to the mountain, yeah, and when you get to the mountaintop, you can always slide down the other side.
Yeah, and it's funny
Yeah.
that you know that you say that because I'm picturing a mountain and you start on one side, you get started, you get up to the top, you accomplish it, you go down, then there's another
Yeah.
mountain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with that being said, you know, a lot of people don't realize when you get started, right? You know the best way to get started is just doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I remember when said, you know what, I want a podcast show, and I was talking about, and I was thinking, and it wasn't just to have one, you know, because it seems like certain things are becoming cool now. And I remember like doing, I've always wanted a radio show. You know, I've been on the Tony Cam radio show. I've been on WNRN, the Boombox in Charlottesville. And I remember saying, man, you know, I want my own radio show. And God knew years ago that this was a
Yeah.
platform. And now we live in an age where you can have your own TV show through YouTube. So I'm saying
Yeah.
that to say this, like, I thought about it so much. You know how I got started? I didn't have the equipment, but I paid a studio. I said, if
Yeah.
I can get started, let me tell you, by recording that one episode, it ignited this fire in me to get another one done and another one done. Now, it wasn't about the quantity, but it was about the quality. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
you do when when you're doing something, you want to let people know, but you want to do it strategically because you don't want to say, hey, man, you know, I'm writing this book, and in 5 or 6 years, you still haven't put out the book. See, that's
Yeah.
that's the bad part about having.
That's the procrastination part.
Yeah, and see, people that say, "Oh, you're full of potential," you know. And here's the thing:
Mm-hmm.
potential energy is stored energy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if I climb
Yeah.
up to the diving board and rubbing my hands together, shaking my tail like I'm about to do some Olympic dive, right? That's potential energy. But the key is to get that moving into kinetic energy, because I can climb up, stand on the edge of the diving board, and climb right back down, and never jump in the water. So the key is take that stored energy and just do something. And let me tell you, and if you fail with grace, because let me tell you, the Wright brothers that discovered the flying airplanes, I'm pretty sure they crashed thousands of them before that last airplane flew. You know why you don't hear about it? Because they actually were successful. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to fail. When it comes to getting started, it's kind of like if you want to run a mile, you got to first run 5 steps. If you want to run a mile, you got to first complete 1 lap. So there's steps within the process to knock it out. So you have an ultimate goal. Hezekiah wanted to write a book. Now, part of his mini goals, or the small goals within that, is writing chapters. Part of the mini goals within writing chapters is writing paragraphs. Part of the mini goals between writing paragraphs is writing sentences. So you don't have to look at the big picture. You can take it step by step by step. You see what I'm saying? Well, if you want to become a better father, write you a list down. I want to spend 2 Saturdays a month where I'm taking my children out. Start small, you know what I'm saying? Because the small deposits you make in life will add up to big change. It's just like collecting change, literally. Like, people are like, oh, man, it's just a penny. They leave it on the ground. Me and my wife cashed in some change, right? It was a protein jar that I had. And we just took it, man, and we ended up having like $200-something in change. You feel me? Now, by themselves, the pennies and the nickels didn't look like much. But over time, collectively, we were able to buy school clothes. So what I'm saying is to motivate you guys is your small accomplishments will equal a big goal. You know what I'm saying?
And one thing I hate when people's like, I'm grinding 24/7. I'm grinding. Don't grind to not get nothing.
Yep.
Don't grind every day and you still are in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
When I say I'm grinding. These shoes hit the pavement. I don't drive. I get the bus. I go here. I go there. I still got sores on my ankles from walking that I haven't healed yet to grind to get to where I need to get. It's an investment. It's like what you said. If you wanted to grow, you got to get out there and water it. You got to go get it. I go this place. I go that place. Most of my nights will start at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't get in bed till 10 o'clock, and I might not eat because I'm too tired.
Wow. Talk about sacrifice.
Because I have to go to work, and then when I get off, I'm promoting my book. I'm marketing my book. I'm going this place. I'm calling this person. I'm talking to this person. And your resources, the people you meet, and the people you get to know, they will get you to where you want to be. But you got to surround yourself around positive influences. Mm-hmm. You can't have no negative energy. Negative energy will break you every time.
Exactly. And, it's kind of like complaining, right? Like if you're surrounding yourself with negative energy, and that's going to be a whole nother episode, but I just want to touch up on this. You get back what you put out. You know what I mean? So if you know that you're hanging around with toxic people and you shouldn't be around these people, leave them alone, because it's like going to the pet store, right? And instead of buying a Maltese or Yorkie poo, you want to go buy 6 poisonous snakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know they were poisonous because the sign said poisonous, but you bring them home anyway. They're non-domesticated animals, and you get bitten. It's no need crime because you knew what you were dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And then having snakes in your house, you're not going to be able to maneuver like you would if it was just a dog or non-poisonous animal. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to writing books, when it comes to getting businesses or starting businesses or getting started, make sure your circle is cleansed and purged, because, it's almost like going outside and your grass is 2 feet long, right? You don't know what's lurking in that grass. So before you get started, clean your circle, check your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to try to bring this episode to a close. But before we go, Hez, do you have any upcoming events?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to be speaking at Bountiful Blessing Sunday. I'm going to be giving a little testimony there. That's on Sunday. You can catch it live on Facebook Live. You can catch that sermon live. I'll be speaking. 4th Sunday in September, I also will be speaking at Mayor Carl B. Hutchinson's church. That's our First Baptist Church of South Lynchburg. September 4th, I got a book signing at Liberty University. Can't believe I got that. That's the biggest university in Lynchburg. I got that. That's on Labor Day. October 13th, I got Norfolk Juvenile Detention Center, where I'll be doing my very first presentation. Never done that before. So that's something new that I'm learning now. Since I'm speaking, they want presentations, not just you to come speak. And I just booked an event out in West Virginia. I'm still waiting on the information there. But that's really my first paid presentation where I'm not in the hundreds. I'm actually getting $1,000 to go and speak.
Wow, that's amazing, man. And, it was a pleasure to have you on the show today, man. I appreciate you agreeing to do it. I just believe, man, like in life, we got to keep one another lifted up, man. And I wish you the best. On the behalf of the IAmTeflonJohn followers, man, we wish you the best. And, hey, just give a shout out, with, the name of your book and where they can get it.
The store in Hezekiah, you can get it Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, any other bookstore you can get it out of. Just go there and ask them do they have it, or can they order it online and they'll get it for you. Yeah. I also have purchased some books too. And can I leave them with this, if you don't mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
I am my past, I am my present, and I am my future. They always say ordinary people does extraordinary things. That's it.
I like that, man. I like that. And like I said, we're going to bring this episode to a close. We want to thank you again, Hezekiah Morris, for coming through, man, and just blessing us. You know what I'm saying? I hope that that the seeds that were sown today fall on fertile ground in everybody's mind, and that we just provoke thought. And I want to encourage you guys to subscribe to this podcast show. The IAmTeflonJohn Podcast Show is just made to empower you, to inspire you, to help you become a better person physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. And hey, visit my website, www.IAmTeflonJohn.com. That's JOHN. Follow me on Instagram at RealTeflonJohn. Follow me on Twitter at RealTeflonJohn. Follow me on Facebook at Facebook.com/RealTeflonJohn. And follow me on Facebook for my physical and my fitness side at Facebook.com/BP Workout spelled with a Z. And look, I just want y'all guys to have a wonderful week, have a wonderful day, and please share this episode with 5 of your friends. And as I always say, one love, be blessed.